Hello my dear students, how are you all? I wish all are doing well to be at your home. So my dear students, here I am with the video of English grammar chapter number 3 to 6 explanation you will get in this video. As you know very well, this is our book Grammatics of 6th class. In the chapter number 3 which we are going to study today, this is phrases and clauses. So basically, what is a phrase and what is a clause? That first thing is here which we should know. Definition is given in your book. A phrase a group of words which make sense but not complete sense is called a phrase. It means to say a group of words we are having but it is not giving us a proper sense. That is called phrase. Example, the sun sets in the west. So here what is phrase? It is given in the west. Because it is giving a sense. It means something is in the west. But what is that is we don't know if we are not having complete sentence. So this is phrase. Similarly, some more examples of phrases are: they want to go home next. He left in the evening. Okay. And what is clause? A group of words which forms part of a sentence and contains a subject and a predicate. A group of words which forms part of a sentence and contains a subject and a predicate is called a clause. This is the girl who won the race. In the above example, who won the race is a clause. It contains a subject, who, and a predicate, won the race. So that's why this is clause. So something else I want to tell you, but this is not in your book. You have to listen carefully. What is a phrase? Actually, phrases are a combination of two or more words that can take the role of a noun, a verb, or a modifier in a sentence. They are different from clauses because while dependent and independent. Dependent means the sentence which the things which are depend on others. Independent, there is no need of any support. So both clauses contains a subject and a verb, while phrase do not. So example I have written, you can see here, the red ball directly bounced into a muddy water. Okay, so here the red ball is also a phrase, but here we will take only this one, into a muddy water. So this is phrase. And the next sentence which I have taken here, what is written? In this sentence, which I made underline, there is noun, consists of a noun. Each that is noun phrase consists of a noun, articles and one or two adjectives that modify noun. But neither of these phrases contain a verb, so they cannot be considered as a clause. Here you can't see verb. Into a muddy puddle. Is there any verb? No. So this is the phrase. As it is told in clauses, what we need? What is the thing? In clauses we are having separate subject and predicate, but it is the part of the main sentence. And for phrases, what we need? It will tell us about the noun, adjective, etc. But it will not have subject and predicate. So this is called phrase. Now the next example I have written, the red ball that slipped from my hands bounced directly into a muddy water. So again we are having the same sentence. The red ball, only the part which is different from this, that slipped from my hands. Only this part is different. So here again we are talking about the same ball, but one sentence is going to be added with this sentence, that is, that slipped from my hands. And this sentence modifies which red ball? Which red ball? That bounced directly, that slipped from my hands. So here it is not considered as a phrase. What is this? This is a clause. Why? Because it is having subject, that is subject, and slipped from my hand is predicate, that is subject, and rest part is predicate. Okay, so what is this? This is clause. Got it? Here, this is the girl who won the race. So we are talking about the girl. About which girl? Who won the race. In the above example, who won the race is a clause. It contains a subject and a predicate. Similarly, some more examples of clauses are here. Friends who keep their words can be trusted. So we can trust it to which friend? Who can keep their words. He has a bracelet. This is the main thing. He has a bracelet which is made of silver. This is clause because it is the part of the sentence and it is having subject and predicate. Okay, so this is clause. Now here exercise is given in your book. Pick out phrases or clauses from the following sentences. This is the boy who topped the class. So clause, who topped the class. At sunset they return home. They return home when? At sunset. The tops of the mountains were covered with snow. So this part is of the mountains. Next is a group of girls was sitting on the bench. Where they were sitting? On the bench. This is phrase. We cannot play while it is raining. So while it is raining, a clause. Again it is clause, as I told you, because it is having subject and predicate, and second thing is it is the part of a main sentence. I went to bed at 9 o'clock. This is at 9 o'clock is phrase. Now look at page number 13 in your book. Make a sentence by using the following phrases and clauses. In the evening. So we can use these phrases or clauses in our own sentences, while the sentence which I have given you can change. There is no foundation that you will do the same thing, but it only the example I have given. So in the evening, the children play in the evening. We can write, we go for walk in the evening. My father usually comes in the evening. My mother goes to the temple in the evening. So many sentences are here. While I am having lunch. So you can go for swimming while I am having lunch. You can go for tuition while I am having lunch. You can go for study while I am having lunch. You can go sleep while I am having lunch. So many. Who help themselves. So God helps those who help themselves. Over the bridge. They stood over the bridge. Who speaks English fluently? The boy who speaks English fluently is my brother. Okay? Now the next thing, learner's drill. A phrase can be turned into a meaningful sentence. Make 5 phrases by taking ideas from the given picture and use them in sentence of your own. Some phrases are given. So we will use these phrases. If we want, we can change also. The sun rises in the east. The sun sets in the west. The sun shines brightly in the afternoon. The sun sometimes hides behind the clouds. The sun is very hot in the afternoon. So we have used how many phrases? 5. In the west, in the east, in the afternoon, behind the clouds, in the afternoon again. Okay? Third chapter is clear. Now here, chapter number 4. Affirmative and negative sentences. So my dear student, first of all, we should know that what is a tense. Tense which tells us about the time. When the work happens, the action action happens and happened and will happen. Okay. So Affirmative and negative sentence. Affirmative sentence, a sentence which agrees with a statement is called an affirmative sentence where there is no negation. A negative sentence, a sentence which has no or not in it is called a negative sentence. So before that I want to show you one chart. I hope it will help you to understand the tenses. Here tenses. How many kinds of tenses are there? Present, past and future. In all three we are having subkinds. These are simple, continuous, perfect and perfect continuous. In all four we are having three basic kinds. These are affirmative, negative and interrogative. And in this chapter we will come to know about our affirmative and negative sentences. So here one chart is given, that also I have prepared. Look here. First, present tense. So before knowing to affirmative and negative, we should know the rules and regulation of the sentences, of the tenses. Then we will be able to convert the sentence affirmative into negative and negative into affirmative. So this is about present tense. So how we will write the sentence? Present tense, first subject, then verb, then object. If the subject is in plural number, more than one, they, you, it is written, then we will use first form of the main verb, then object. Examples I have written, they write an essay, write directly we are using, you read a book. And next, if the subject is in singular, that I have written here, I is an exceptional case. With I usually we use plural verb. Okay, usually but not always. Here subject is in singular number, that I have written here, then verb. With verb we use s or es plus object. So here example, he writes an essay. We use s or es with the main verb. Got it? And when we will convert these present tense sentences into negative, then what we will do? Subject, do not and does not, then verb, first form we will use here, and then object. Do not will be used when the subject is plural. I have mentioned here, when the subject is plural then we use do not, and if the subject is in singular number then we use does not. Example I have written here, they do not write essay. They is in plural number, that's why we use here do not, and write first form of the main verb. And he does not write an essay. Does why we use? Because the subject is in singular number. He means singular he. And then I do not write an essay. As I told you, I is an exceptional case. Usually we use plural form but not always plural verb. Okay, this was about present. Now here on this page I have given past rule also. In past tense we use subject, then second form of the main verb, then object. So second form of the main verb means we are having three verbs in a word. Go, first verb. Go first form, second form is went, and gone is third form, and we can call it past participle also. So in past tense we use second form of the main verb. They went to market, she went to market. There is no criteria for singular or plural in the simple past. And for negative sentence, subject did not, then verb first form, then object. They did not go to market. Here we were using second form of the main verb went, but whenever we are going to make the negative sentence, that time did not and first form of the main verb. They did not go to market. Next, she did not go to market. Next, for future tense. For future tense we use will shall. So will shall, how we will use this, that I want to make clear. We are having three persons, first, second and third. First persons are I, we, second persons are you, and third person he, she, it, they. Got it? So with first person, with I, we use shall, and with second and third person we use will. I have mentioned here, just look. Okay? So how we will make the sentence? I shall go to the market and he will go to the market. Future tell us about the future action. And in negative what we will do? Subject will shall, not, then first form of the main verb, then object. So I shall not go to the market and he will not go to market. So simple is over. Now come to the continuous. Continuous means to say work is in progress. So first of all, we will come to know about the present continuous. In present continuous, what we do? Subject plus is RM. These are called helping verbs plus main verb, and with that main verb we use ing, then object. So that is, I have cleared here that with I we use am, you, we, they. It means with plural we use are, and he, she, it, and with singular we use is. Example, I am writing an essay. They are writing essays. He is writing an essay. And for negative, what we will do? Subject, then is RM means helping verb, then not, then verb, ing, then object. So I am not writing an essay. It means after helping verb we will put not. As I told you, is, RM, was, were, these are helping verbs. They are not writing essays. He is not writing an essay. This was about present tense. Okay. And now past tense here. In past tense we use was, were. Was is used with singular number and were is used with plural number. Example, he was writing an essay and they were writing essays. In negative, same thing, after helping verb we will put not. He was not writing an essay and they were not writing essays. Okay. So this is about past continuous. Now future continuous. Here in future continuous, what we will do? Look, subject, will, shall, then be, then verb with ing, then object. And in last option I have told that with which we use will and with which we use shall. With first person we use shall and with second and third person we use will. Okay. So procedure, subject, will, shall, then be, then verb with ing, then object. So example I have written here. You can see he will be writing an essay. We shall be writing essays. Negative, subject, will, shall, not, be, verb, ing, and object. He will not be writing an essay. We shall not be writing essays. I hope this is clear to you. This is over. Now come to the perfect. First, present perfect. So in present perfect, it is telling us the work is over before a moment or sometime where we are not sure about when. So this is in perfect tense. What we do in present perfect? Subject, has, have, then verb, third form, or past participle also we can call it, then object. Has is used with singular number, as I mentioned here. You can see, and have is used with I, and have is used with plural and I. That is I have written. You can see. So examples, Ram has written an essay. Ram is in singular number, that's why we used has. They have done their work. So with they we used have because they is in plural number and I is an exceptional case. So with I also we used have. Then negative, subject, has, have, then not, then verb, then object. Same procedure, Ram has not written an essay, they have not done their work, and I have not learnt my lesson. Okay. Now past perfect. In past perfect, subject, had, verb third form, then object. There is no criteria for singular and plural. With both we use had. So Ram had written an essay, you had done your work. And in negative, subject, had not, then verb third form, then object. Ram had not written an essay, you had not done your work. Now future tense. What we do in future tense? Subject, will have, will, shall, then have, then verb third form, then object. They will have done their work. I shall have gone to Delhi. As I told you, with first person we use shall, with second and third person we use will. And here there is no change with has or have, we use only have here. So they will have done their work, I shall have gone to Delhi. And in negative, what we will do? After will we will put not. They will not have done their work, I shall not have gone to Delhi. So this is future perfect. This one is over. So explanation of the tenses I have given. Only interrogative is remaining, that I will give you for the next chapter, because in next chapter we will study about interrogative. So I have left here. So again I am telling, affirmative sentence, a sentence which agrees with a statement, is called an affirmative sentence, and negative sentence where we are having a negation, a sentence which has no or not in it, is called a negative sentence. So examples here also. Present simple, he writes a letter. Negative, he does not write a letter. I, we, you, they write. It means with plural we use they. I is an exceptional case, and with them do not write a letter. In past simple, I, we, you, he, they, any subject is there, we use directly second form of the main verb. In negative, did not and first form of the main verb. For future tense, will, shall, then first form of the main verb, and here in negative, will not, shall not, and then first form of the main verb. Present continuous is same, is rm, subject is rm, and then object, and same for past, future. So these examples are given, you can study from here. Okay. He has, I am writing, he is writing, we, you, they are writing. I am not writing, he is not writing, we, you, they are not writing. Past, I, he was writing, we, you, they were writing, and we, you, they are not writing. I, he was not writing. You, they, we were not writing. Future, I, we shall be writing. You, he, they will be writing. And negative, I, we shall not be writing. You, he, they will not be writing. Okay. Perfect, he has written, he has not written. I, we, you, they have written. I, we, you, they have not written. Past perfect, I, we, you, he, they had written. I, we, you, they had not written, because there is, as I told you, nothing for singular and plural. For all will be the same. I, we shall will have written, and I, we shall will not have written. You, he, they will have written, and you, he, they will not have written. Everything I have cleared in the rules. Here the rules already I have explained. Now come to the next page. It means to say page number 15. The following sentences have been changed from negative to affirmative. His son is not a doctor. So here we have changed this. His son is a doctor. We have to remove the not. You were not hungry. It means you were hungry. They did not have enough time. It means they had enough time. Did not have is written here. That's why it is telling us this is the negation of had. Understood? If had is there, then did not have. If have is there or has is there, then do not have, does not have. He does not have a new pen. It means he has a new pen. Does not have will be converted into has. Mind it. And did not have will be converted into had. The servant has not stolen my watch. Here it is in perfect tense. So the servant has stolen my watch. Because in sentence number 3rd and 4th, they did not have enough time. Have is used in the form of main verb. Got it? Useful tips are given. The contracted forms does not, did not, don't, haven't, won't or want are mainly used in conversation, not for formal. Study the following negative sentences and observe how these are written in two ways. We are having another way also to change the sentence into negative. How we can? I do not know either Hari or Sham. It means I know neither Hari nor Sham. We did not meet anybody there. It means we met nobody there. I cannot bear this pain any longer. It means I can bear this pain no longer. Got it? This is the second way to convert the sentence. Here we didn't change the meaning of the sentence, but we have shown the negation, negative sentences. So in a negative sentence, only one negative is used. Two negatives make an affirmative. For example, Rahul is unable to do his work. It is a negative. But if we use not, it becomes affirmative. Understood? Because here Rahul is unable to do this work. It means Rahul is not able to do this work. Got it? Rahul is not unable to do this work. It means Rahul is able to do this work. So this is the another format to change the positive into negative and negative into positive. I mean to say affirmative. Now here exercise we will do. Here on page number 16, choose the correct option. A sentence which has not in it is called a or an negative sentence. So it is a negative sentence. Then an affirmative sentence agrees with a statement. Okay. Now the next thing, write the following sentences in another way the first one has been done for you. She has not done either his essay or his sums. It means she has done neither his essays nor his sums. She did not do anything. Anything usually comes for the negative or interrogative sentence. So here she did nothing. He cannot play either cricket or table tennis. So he can play neither cricket nor table tennis. Okay. His father cannot read or write. It means his father can neither read nor write. They cannot give you any more money. It means they can give you no more money. Got it? Now the next exercise, exercise number C, change the following negative sentences into affirmative sentences. Mohan saw it nowhere. It means Mohan saw it somewhere. There is no water in the bucket. So there is some water in the bucket. I know nothing about him. It means I know something about him. She can play neither chess nor carom. She can play either chess or carom. He never comes in uniform. So he always comes in uniform. So this is over. Chapter number 5, affirmative and negative are over. Now in chapter 5 we will study about the interrogative sentence. Here it is written, formation of interrogative sentence. It is on page number 17. Look here. Study carefully how statements are changed into questions. I am rich, it means am I rich. Helping verb or the main that is helping verb will come before the subject in the simple sentences. She is rich, is she rich? Then question mark. The cattle are grazing, are the cattle grazing? Question mark. It was raining, was it raining? And question mark. Okay. So here I am having rules for this also that I am going to share with you. First, simple present. As I told you, when we use do and does in simple present, in negative tense, as I told you na, do is used with plural and I and does is used with singular. If the subject is in singular number, then we use does, and if the subject is in plural number, then we use do. So formation of the sentence do does, it means auxiliary verbs will come before the subject, then verb, first form, then object. Example, does he write a letter and do they go to the market? Got it? So this is about present tense. And now simple past. Did, then subject, then verb, first form, then object. Example, did he write a letter yesterday? Did will come before the subject. One thing else, this is not I have written here, but I want to tell you, if we are having any question word in a interrogative sentence, then we can keep this question word before the did, do or will, shall. It means auxiliary verb. So simple future, will, shall, subject, verb, first form, object. As you know that with first person we use shall and with second and third person we use will. So how we will make? Will he go to market and shall I go to market? So this was about simple present, past, future. Now continuous. For continuous we are having helping verbs is, rm. Okay, with singular number we use is, with plural we use are, and with I we use am in present continuous. Then subject, then verb with ing, then object and then question mark. It is the most important thing to put question mark at the end of the interrogative sentence. So is he writing a letter? Are they going to market? Am I reading a book? Then past continuous, what we have to do? Was and were. These are the helping verbs. Was is used with singular number and were is used with plural number, then subject, then verb with ing and then object, then question mark. Was he going to market? Were they going to market? These are the example. Now future continuous. So in future continuous, what we will do? Will shall will come before the subject, then be, B-E-B, and then verb with ing, and then object, then question mark. Will he be writing a letter? Shall we be going to Delhi? Okay. Now the perfect is remaining. In perfect, what we will do? Has and have used, you know very well. Has is used with singular number and have is used with plural and I. Then subject, then verb, third form, and then object. So have you learnt your lesson? Has she done her work? For the past tense, had will be used, then subject, then verb, third form, then object, then question mark. Had they gone to Agra? And in future tense, will shall, then subject, then have. Only have will come, then verb, third form, then object, then question mark. So will she have done her work, or shall I have learnt my chapter by 3 o'clock? So this is all about the rules. Now you can see here, and in interrogative sentence, the helping verb is placed before the subject. Okay. So here now see how these questions are formed. Already I explained, but again you can see the example. She plays table tennis. Plays is telling us that it is in present tense and the subject is singular. Then here does will come before the subject. Does she play table tennis? Plays, S will be removed. Then children like chocolates. This is in present tense but children is in plural. Then here in interrogative what we will use? Do. Do children like chocolates? She did her duty. So did she do her duty? It rained last night. Did it rain last night? Always remember, do, does are used for the present simple. Did is used for the past simple. Kinds of interrogative sentence. Yes, no, interrogative. These are used to form question which elicit a response which is either yes or no. Is this your pen? Okay. Now next page. Did you receive my message? Have you found a new house yet? And WH questions. As I told you, if we are having any question word, so it will be used before the verb, helping verb. On the other hand, are introduced by a WH word such as what, when, who, why, etc. What happened? Where do you work? Who won the World Cup final in 1997? When will the work be finished? Got it? These are the things, and something is here. Always remember what? Question tags are short questions added at the end of the statements, mainly spoken English. I am repeating this line because it is most important for you. Question tags are short questions added at the end of statements, mainly spoken English. An assertive question tag is used after a negative statement. As he does not like coffee, does he? So the statement is he does not like coffee. This is negative. That's why we use here question tag in this assertive. A negative question tag is used an assertive statement. Kavita plays the piano. Doesn't she? I hope this is clear to you. Now come to the exercise part. Choose the correct option. Did is used for the simple past tense. Okay, so we will tick past. The auxiliary verbs give support to the main verb in a sentence. An affirmative question tag is used after a negative statement. Okay. Now come to the next page. Page number 19. You can see here in your book. Fill in the blanks with the question words how, who, what or which. Okay. So here is your favorite color. What will come? Which. Which is your favorite color? Which of these pencils is yours? Next, third one. What do you like to do in the morning? Fourth one. What is the time now? Next, fifth one. Which is the biggest land animal? Sixth. How did you solve this problem? 7th, who is the woman standing near the gate? 8th one, what do you prefer, tea or coffee? Now the next exercise, change the following statement into questions. Your uncle reads the Hindustan Times. Already I explained in detail. I hope this is clear to you and you will understand easily that we have to use here does. Does your uncle read the Hindustan Times? Here by mistake I have written you. You can do the correction. This is your. R will come. Okay. Then they like to fly kites. So interrogative will be do they like to fly kites? Next, Rohan likes to watch the Discovery Channel. So does Rohan like to watch the Discovery Channel? You can see I have written all the answers. Okay. Next question. He has a brother and a sister. Does he have a brother and a sister? Then next, they attended the seminar on globalization. So answer, did they attend seminar on globalization? Question mark. Here I put, this is question mark. Do the correction please. Okay. Then next exercise. Here, tickle your brain and write WH questions for each balloon. Here, how many balloons we are having? 6. And we have to use WH words. Then we have to make the questions. So 6 questions I have made. These are here. Which is your favorite color? Where are you going? Who is the boy standing with balloons? What is the color of his t-shirt? Where does he live? And what is the color of his shorts? I hope this till here everything is clear to you. Okay. Friends, now stay at home, stay safe, but keep in touch of your study. And this is the explanation till chapter 5. 6 chapter and 23 chapter is remaining, that I will give you in next video. Thank you.